Hey, what's going on? So this video is all about recommended resources, like what is out there that can really help you take your diving to the next level. And first and foremost, this is going to be the most comprehensive, all in one place to go over the skills for all the dives and to learn basically everything, to have a workout, training, motivation, putting together the reason as to why we're doing this. But there are so many other amazing resources that I would really like you to look into. From one, YouTube channel. So I know that there's, I think, Flip and Rip channel. There is, you can search Jacques Laugher, basically spelled as Laugher, Laugher. He has an amazing channel from Great Britain. There is the Diving Network. I think that's a really good channel where you kind of get a chance to learn from some of the best coaches, where they, from across the nation, where they just kind of go over some of the skills that they learn. Some of them are really good, some of them are a little iffy, but I think that they're really helpful overall. I know Bobby LaRue, he put together a bunch of resources, a bunch of videos. I really like Bobby LaRue. I think he's good to bring in passion. I just think that in some senses it's lacking a little bit of detail in terms of how to really make it clean. But again, if you're still kind of starting out, I think Bobby LaRue is a great resource. You can search him up on YouTube. He goes over a bunch of different stuff. It's a lot of fun. Also, another thing on YouTube, you can search up Jeff Huber or Indiana Dive Club. I think it's just under Jeff Huber, but he has a bunch of really helpful videos. He's one of my top influences in terms of what I've learned. I have actually his book in my bag, which you could look up. I think it's called Springboard Diving something or another, from Jeff Huber. If you find anything Jeff Huber with Springboard Diving, I'm assuming that's his book. It's really helpful. Again, he's the head of USA Diving currently, and he's one of the best coaches of all time. Great person to look up to. So I definitely recommend you using your resources that are available to you on YouTube. Also, Tom Daly. Tom Daly is the person really leading the diving world right now in terms of, he has a bunch of amazing stretches, a bunch of workouts. I mean, he's is he a gold medalist? I think he might be a silver medalist. I don't know. Regardless, he's one of the best divers of all time. Very inspirational, amazing guy, great person to learn from. If you go through all those resources, there's so much that you can get. Then there's also some tools, right? So there is like Springboard Diving and More website. You can search that up in Google, Springboards and More, I think. You can get like the straps that hold your feet together. There's like different tools and stuff that you can get that can help you. There's like some grip that'll help you really get into your positions and hold your positions well. And then there's Instagram, right? There's so many amazing divers on Instagram that, if you start just following some of them that you really relate with, or you like their diving, something that inspires you, it'll just constantly remind you of what's possible, and it'll keep you excited. Instead of just seeing a bunch of lame stuff or whatever's going on with the people around you, you get to really see some people that are taking stuff to the next level. So again, with all those resources, besides this training, which is going to be more comprehensive and it's really going to help you get to the next level faster than anything, but ultimately there's so many other amazing resources out there, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot more to come. So keep your eyes out. And before I end, I also want to say that one of the most important things you could do is to watch diving, all the most advanced videos, but also kind of what kids are doing at your age. So if you go to like YouTube and you type World Diving Boys, you'll find, I think, a couple different age divisions from like 14, 15, and 16 to 18. And you'll start to see what they're doing, and you could do the same. They might have even younger than that. But it helps you to kind of see what's going on at a younger age, so you don't kind of get overwhelmed too much. But you start to see, okay, these kids are young, but they're actually pretty good. So you do got to move fast. This is a young person's sport, so that's why it's really about improving fast, being patient, and learning the skills in the appropriate order, but also going through it as fast as possible, really dedicating, finding your passion, and attacking the sport, because again, this is a young person's sport. So if you use all those resources I mentioned and you go onto YouTube and you start watching the world diving, the men's diving, women's diving, 3 meter, even 10 meter, even though we don't do 10 meter all the time, or if you do, that's even better, then watch the 10 meter. And once you start being around it more, you're gonna really start to see just like all the people, all the little errors, and you'll see the dives that they're doing. It'll ultimately just open your eyes up in so many ways that'll completely transform. And then ultimately, the best resource of all is doing what I'm doing now, which is recording yourself, but don't record yourself talking, although you could. It's I would recommend you getting into that too, nowadays especially. But recording your dives, and that's something that we do at practice. We have a TiVo here, we record our stuff sometimes. We don't do it every practice, but ultimately if you could set up or just get a basic camera, like $100 camera, or just use your phone. The cool thing about the camera is you could upload it to the computer easier, and it's just, I kind of like that. But the phone works good too, and just record, set up your phone near the pool, and just record every single dive. And then after dive, you know, maybe when you're driving home, or yeah, definitely when you're in the car, or even when you get home, go through each and every one of your dives. And you don't have to save the video, but I bet you if there's a couple good dives, you might want to crop those out and save those and put together some highlight videos of you, just to really see where you're at, to help motivate you. And you'll start to see some of the small things you're messing up on. And I'm telling you, that's the fastest way. Besides doing this training, if you do this training, follow everything we say, and you implement all the details that I'm going to tell you in this training, again, my promise to you, you're going to improve so much faster. It's going to be so much fun as well. Practice is going to be so much better. Everything's just going to improve upon your life if you take these steps. And the best thing I'm recommending you right now is go through YouTube, go through those channels, find some videos, go through Instagram. Some people on Instagram, oh man, who would I recommend? There's so many amazing people on Instagram. I like Matthew Rosé. I'll try to put together a list of people. Definitely Tom Daly again. Who else? I like, what's her name? I think it's Lala the diver. What's her, she was, I don't know why I'm blanking out, but she's like, I think in her 40s right now. She's going back to hopefully get another gold medal. Laura Wilkinson, there we go. I don't know what I'm blanking out on. There's just so many amazing divers. So just going through Instagram, finding some videos, and ultimately planning, how are you going, do you have a camera? Can you bring it to practice to where you can actually record your videos and start to learn so much faster by reviewing them? And then ultimately, if you compare your dives, say if you're doing a 4 dive, and then you start to find somebody who's really professional, and you go frame by frame and you compare the differences to what they're doing and what you're doing, and you find the first moment where you went wrong, and always fix the first stuff before you fix the last stuff. Ultimately, if you can make the same walk the same as them, that's step 1. If you could get that approach the same as them, that's step 2. If you could get the takeoff the same as there, step 3. If you can get the flight, and once you start seeing your dives and start making your dives like them, again, there's so much potential. That's the fastest way to grow. So again, set up everything you can, organize it, and I hope at practice that you start to have some channels that you follow, have some more resources available to you, so you can put all this stuff around your life to remind you remind yourself as to why you do this. Don't forget your reasons why. If you did not write down your reasons why, go back to the first video and write down some of the reasons as to why you want to do this, why you want to improve upon this, and then ultimately I can show you the steps.